Why is it that the people you help the most are often the ones who respect you the least? Have you ever felt like a candle that burns itself out just to give light to others, only to be thrown away when the wax is gone? You say yes because you don't want to be selfish. You say yes because you want to be liked. But deep down, you are tired. You are exhausted. Not from physical work, but from the heavy burden of carrying everyone else's problems while ignoring your own. If you feel guilty every time you think about saying no, then you need to listen very closely, because being too nice isn't a virtue, it is a curse that destroys your peace. Today, we are going to change that. This is the story that will teach you how to reclaim your life. In a valley surrounded by high mountains, there lived a carpenter named Elias. Elias was known throughout the valley not for his woodwork, but for his inability to refuse a request. He was the man with the open door. In fact, people used to joke that Elias's house didn't even need a door because he never closed it to anyone. If a neighbor needed a table fixed, Elias would stop his own work to fix it. If a stranger needed a meal, Elias would give them his own dinner and sleep hungry. He believed that the world was a mirror, that if he gave goodness, goodness would reflect back to him. He thought that by sacrificing his comfort, he was buying love and respect. But Elias was wrong. He wasn't buying respect. He was teaching people that his time, his energy, and his life had no value. As years passed, the demands on Elias grew. The villagers didn't ask anymore, they expected. They would barge into his workshop without knocking. "Elias, fix this chair," they would say, without even a please. "Elias, watch my children, I have to go to the market," they would command, without asking if he was busy. Elias's own house began to rot. His roof leaked water during the rains. His garden was overgrown with weeds because he was too busy tending to the gardens of others. He was drowning in a sea of yes. One freezing winter evening, Elias fell terribly ill. His body burned with fever, and his bones ached so much he could barely rise from his bed. He had no firewood left, as he had given his last bundle to a neighbor the day before. Shivering and weak, he lay in the dark, waiting. He thought, "Surely someone will come. I have built roofs for half the village. I have fed them. They will come to check on me." He waited. The sun went down. The moon rose high. The wind howled through the cracks in his walls. But nobody came. Not the neighbor whose roof he fixed. Not the friend whose debts he paid. Elias lay there, tears freezing on his cheeks, realizing the hardest truth of his life. He had set himself on fire to keep others warm, and now that he was burning to ash, nobody cared to bring him water. It took Elias weeks to recover, but the sickness in his body was nothing compared to the sickness in his heart. He felt betrayed. He felt angry. Determined to find an answer, Elias climbed the high ridge to visit the old sage, a hermit who lived in silence above the clouds. Elias collapsed at the sage's feet and cried, "I gave them everything. Why do they treat me like I am nothing?" The sage looked at Elias with eyes as deep as the ocean. He didn't offer pity. Instead, he led Elias to a small well near his hut. "Look inside," the sage said softly. Elias looked. The well was bone dry, just dust and stones. "This well," the sage said softly, "used to give the sweetest water. Travelers from everywhere drank from it. It gave freely. It never stopped flowing. But because it gave more than the rain could replenish, it ran dry. Now look at it. Do you see any travelers here?" Elias shook his head. "No." "Exactly," whispered the sage. "People do not visit a dry well. They only value the water, not the source. When you give without limits, Elias, you teach people that you are a resource, not a person. A resource is used until it is empty, and then it is abandoned." The sage placed a hand on Elias's shoulder. "To be kind is good, but kindness without boundaries is self-destruction. You must build a fence around your garden, not to keep people out, but to protect the flowers that grow within." Elias returned to the valley a changed man. The very next morning, a wealthy merchant knocked loudly on his door. "Elias, my carriage wheel is broken. Fix it immediately. I am in a hurry." Elias was sanding a piece of wood for his own new front door. He didn't look up. He paused, took a deep breath, and spoke a word that felt heavy and strange on his tongue. "No." The merchant froze. "What did you say?" "I said no," Elias said calmly, finally looking him in the eye. "I am repairing my own home today. I cannot help you." The merchant turned red with anger. He shouted, he threatened, he called him selfish. Elias felt his heart racing. Every instinct in his body screamed at him to apologize, to fix the wheel, to be the nice guy. But he remembered the dry well. He remembered the cold night alone. He went back to sanding his wood. The merchant stormed off. And then something miraculous happened. The sky didn't fall. The world didn't end. Elias finished his door. That night, for the first time in years, he slept in a warm, secure house. Over the next few months, the village changed. At first, people were angry. They called him arrogant. They gossiped. But Elias stood firm. When he helped from a place of abundance, not desperation. He stopped letting people interrupt his work. He demanded fair payment for his labor. And slowly, the shouting stopped. The demands turned into requests. "Elias, could you please help me if you have the time?" They began to value his time because he valued his time. They began to respect his energy because he protected it. The people realized that Elias's yes was special because it was no longer automatic. It was a gift. Elias realized that true friendship isn't about what you can do for someone. It's about who you are when you do nothing at all. My friend, let this story be your wake-up call. You are not required to set yourself on fire to light the way for others. Saying no does not make you a bad person. It makes you a smart person. It means you respect the life you have been given. If this story resonated with you, and if you are ready to build your own boundaries, type "I value myself" in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you never miss a lesson that could change your life. Remember, your first responsibility is to yourself. Only when your cup is full can you truly give to others. Until next time.